On today's episode of Locked On Avalanche, the Avs close out 2024 with a win and a big win at that over the Winnipeg Jets. Let's talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciate it. Make sure you're following us on our social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche, Twitter X, Locked On Avalanche, on Instagram and Threads. Questions, comments, concerns, opinion, and Blue Sky, by the way. Questions, comments, concerns, and opinions, LockedOnAvalanche@gmail.com, and follow us on our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, get notified when a new show goes live. Make sure you subscribe to our subtext as well. Link to that is in the show notes below. When you do chat with Kyle and I one-on-one, we get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, which we share in this very podcast. All right, sir, let's dive into it. Yeah, you're wearing your Penn State stuff that you're wearing. I like the it's like New Year's outside, college on the inside. So it's like professional and not professional fandom. I like the vibe you got going on.
You know, those of us in the business call this the Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah. but then you'd have to not talk the entire episode if that's
true.
Yeah. But yeah, so your Nittany Lions are moving on.
Yep.
But that is a different show. This one is all about the Colorado Avalanche and their big win over the Winnipeg Jets. And yes, I know Winnipeg was on back-to-back, but everyone has them. Everyone has to deal with them. And the Jets had a decision to make, and they wanted to play Connor Hellebuyck in the first game, and that's their prerogative. But hey, their backup goalie and Eric Comrie played a really, really good game and kept that. You look at the final score, and it's 5-2. And this is like the second game in a row where the score is not really indicative of how the game went. This was a fun, entertaining playoff style game. And why would you have any other expectation of that? Because these are two teams that are playing exceptionally well. And yeah, this was I thought it was a fair game. It wasn't like you were getting cheap shots in anywhere, but it was aggressive. There were some really good, solid hits in this game, and a lot of back and forth, and a lot of, Avs had a lot of the early momentum. And as you would expect, Winnipeg came out and played a much better second. And then the Avalanche played just lockdown, clamp down defense in the third and get a couple empty netters, and there's your game.
Yeah, you mentioned this is the second half of a back-to-back for Winnipeg, but they did not come in and use that as an excuse. They fought that whole game, and it was every time the Avalanche would get a little bit of momentum, like you would see the defense kind of breathe a little bit, and the Winnipeg would take advantage of that. And Comrie had a .917 save percentage. That's good enough for 5.25 for the Colorado Avalanche for 5 more years. So it's like Winnipeg's got a good stable of goalies, and that's a good team. And the Avalanche really did a good job top to bottom handling it, and clean sheet. Not one penalty committed by the Colorado Avalanche.
And I commented on this over on Twitter. Like, there could have been your normal amount of penalties called in this game, whatever that is. There easily should have been 4 or 5 penalties that were clear as day penalties. And I joked about it, saying, like, I don't know if these refs have a New Year's Eve party to go to, but they were letting just everything go. And I'm okay with letting the ticky-tack things go. I'm okay with that. But there was just a blatant trip. There were cross checks that had one was on. You could have called the one that Lehkonen scored a goal on, which was incredible goal by him. He's falling down and he tips the puck in the net. There was another one in the corner. It was off the play. I think it was Parker Kelly who was in the corner and just got deliberately. The people who were in that corner who saw it, the fans, were just standing up like, "Are you guys going to call anything today?" And it was I think even the Jets only had one called against them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, midway point of the first period.
Oh my! Was it in the first period or second period? I didn't think there was any penalties called in the first period.
I believe it was let's see. I believe it was first period 17:03.
Okay, so it's towards the end then. That's maybe why I'm thinking like they didn't call anything, because there were 4 that came before that they just let go. And hey, if you're going to call it that way, guys are going to play a little bit more aggressive. And I think you saw the Jets starting to do that, and then they finally got called for one. But whatever, that is this wasn't a game. I don't think it decided anything in this game, which is what you in the end you want to see. That you want to know that if you're going to let things go, you really hope that a penalty that should have been called right in crunch time, gets called, but nothing really. It was all that stuff was really in like the beginning stages of the game, not really in the later stages, I felt.
And even the offsides at certain points, like Cale Makar received a pass, clearly took it on the other side of the blue line and then drug it back in the offensive zone. And he had, I believe it was Taser with him. Clear offsides. So they called Miko for an offsides that wasn't.
Yep.
That was very, very odd. But the other refreshing thing about that you mentioned about like the refs letting it go, Nathan McKinnon wasn't screaming for the calls. Like you didn't see those calls going on and then just like chirping at the refs, like, come on, where's my call? It was like a mutual like sportsmanship, like between Winnipeg and Colorado, where they saw how this game was going to go, and it didn't get out of control. There wasn't a lot of like hits after the whistle and continuation. Like they understood that they were being let go to play, and that was a playoff type game and had a playoff type feel because of just the energy that was all game long.
Yeah, we always get on Nathan McKinnon for sometimes being a hothead, and just losing his cool every once in a while, and that's him. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to change that about him, but there was that one play where he had a kind of a breakaway. He had a little bit of a drop on a guy, and he kind of. I don't know if there really could have been a penalty on that, but he almost went head first into the goalpost, and the fans were all up in arms. And then they showed the replay later, and McKinnon gets up and he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
He literally smiled. I'm like, what? Who is that man? Because that normally McKinnon would be looking at the refs and just shouting expletives the entire way back to the bench. But he had a smile. So he was enjoying this. Yeah. He was like, I'm okay. Like this is what I like. We can go toe to toe. I got no problem doing that. But that was when I saw that, I was like, okay, we're going to put the whistles away. Let's just go play some hockey, boys. And it was a really fun, entertaining game. And, this goes back to what we were saying in yesterday's episode about just having confidence as the viewer watching the Avs. You felt like this was not going to get away from them. Once again, Mackenzie Blackwood is looking like the goalie that you have wanted for quite a while now, coming up with really big saves. The goals, that's the thing. The goals that the Jets are scoring, like that first goal was just an impressive pass right on the who scored the first one for them? I got it in front of me. First one for the Jets was Kapari.
Yeah.
And that was right on his tape. Like that was just, what are you going to do? So.
And I mentioned it earlier with those Winnipeg goals. This is coming out like Colorado came out and led. They were up 1-0. And then to start the second, Winnipeg kind of had a Colorado locker room moment, and they came out buzzing in that second. And you could tell like the Avs kind of, as right now they have a 5-game winning streak, longest winning streak in the league. So you could tell the Avs kind of took a breath, kind of rested. You could go back and watch those goals for Winnipeg. The defensive coverage was a little lax. It wasn't that same pressure. Every Winnipeg goal, they took advantage of that little bit of a step back, that little hesitation, that little breath. And Winnipeg knew what to do in each one of those moments. I'm not faulting Blackwood for any of those goals because do them again 9 times out of 10. The coverage is going to be better. Couple like Malinsky, like positioning. It happens.
Are you talking about the second goal?
Yes.
Well, the thing with
Valeri.
Malinsky, like, yeah, he just turned the wrong way.
Yep.
He's on him.
Yep.
He's bodying him. If he turns the other way, and Riker said it right. He thought that puck was going to circle around. That's why he turned that way. He thought the puck was going to go behind the net off to his, I mean, if he's facing this, off to his right. But the puck stayed on the left. And so now his back is to the puck. Those are just the things that happen in the blink of an eye, and the puck's in the back of your net. Just like the other goal. Like, just the first goal was the same way. They didn't get the puck deep enough in the clear, and Winnipeg just went from their blue line to, it was a 2-on-2, but that pass was just perfect. That's what Winnipeg can do to you. And they just turn the tide that quickly.
The difference of these goals compared to the previous stable of goalies we had, where those goals would go in and you're throwing your head back and, oh, God. These are just like, oh, well, you go fix it. Like, you have confidence in your goalie that that's going to be it. It's a leak. It's not everybody's getting a shot. It's not 4 goals, 8 shots. Those days are done. And you could tell that confidence is there team-wide.
Huge. You're right. That now I remember that power play coming in the first, because that was one of the moments where I like the Avs were like, I thought that the power play, they cycled and they whatever, they didn't score on it. But there was one moment that Winnipeg had an opportunity for a shorthanded goal, and they cleared the puck, but they carried the puck out of the zone. And I don't remember who it was on Winnipeg is just skating down the board. And there's 2 Avalanche guys on. Nathan McKinnon was one of them. And I think it was Cale Makar, and they're kind of just hovering around him and just expecting him at some point to just dump the puck, because they're obviously a man down. And he didn't. He held on to the puck. I think it was Kyle Connor who came in. I think it was him. I'm not sure who came in and was just flying down the slot. And he had an opportunity to pass the puck to him. It never got to him. But in moments like that, just go after the guy.
Yeah.
Go after, like, you are the man up. As soon as you show pressure on him, he's going to just give it, hopefully just fold, and then he'll dump the puck in. But they just floated along with him and just let him hold on to the puck. And it was an opportunity. I think when that period ended, they got into the locker room and stuff like that Bednar addresses, and you get out in the second. And it was that second period was entertaining.
Yeah.
Goals were scored back and forth. So it was, overall, I thought it was a very well played game by both teams. But because we focus on the Avs here, I thought that they are synced in right now. They are locked in. They are playing their best hockey right now. Their passing is just crisp. They know where everybody is going to be. It's fun hockey to watch. And I'm not even kidding you right now. And if you want to say I'm lying, then go ahead. But I can assure you I'm not. If they had lost that game, yes, it would have stung. But I would have walked away from that game saying, like, you are still playing good hockey. That was a fun game. You lost it in the last seconds, or you lost it in overtime or whatever. You want to win every game. I get that. I'm not saying I would have been happy with a loss, but you can see in front of your eyes that this team is just playing better hockey.
Yeah, I could tell, because I'm not clenching my jaw throughout the game and counting shots and saves. Like, it's a relaxed getting to enjoy the game of hockey again. And I think it's organization-wide. Everybody gets to take a breath and enjoy the game again.
Let's get our first break in. And when we come back, the guy we've been talking about quite a bit the past couple of games, Casey Mittelstadt, he returns. Let's talk about it right after this. All right, let's hear from FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You know what I love seeing right now, Kyle? The Denver Broncos are a 10-point favorite over the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care if Kansas City is sitting everybody. I just love the visual of that.
Frame it.
And if Denver can't win this game, they really do not deserve to be in the playoffs. My God.
It belongs in a museum.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. If you love betting on which players will score a touchdown or how many points each team will score, which name it, the Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs by 14. Let's get a 14-point win.
They almost beat them at a full healthy team already this year. I have full faith they could do it.
A blocked kick did him in. So just visit FanDuel.com to join today. It's FanDuel.com for your chance to win $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, more on this game between the Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets, which the Avs take the 2 points in regulation too, which is the thing that needed to happen. You didn't want this thing and only get, the 1 point advantage. Those 4-point games that people have to say, like, you got it. You got it on regulation, and you're climbing. The Avs are climbing, and in this game, you saw some really good performances team-wise. It's a good team win. Individually, there's always individuals that play well. And Casey Mittelstadt, we talked about him yesterday. He's got the fourth line demotion. And we kind of threw it out there in yesterday's episode. Like, that could just be where he starts this game. And as the game goes on, kind of move up. And you saw that. You saw it. He was getting more time with different. I think there was one point where he was up with. He switched a lot of lines, and there was one where he was with Colton and Drouin, and part of that is because we'll get to it in a little bit. Nichushkin. So that's a whole nother thing we'll get to in a minute. But it's nice to have Casey Mittelstadt if he's playing a fourth line and something like that happens. Nichushkin, you can bump him up, and he had a good game, and there were, he had a play early in the game where it was a really bad turnover. He went to go clear the puck, and it was just kind of like not like a good strong stick he got on the puck, and Winnipeg was just right there at the blue line, intercepted it. I don't think they got a scoring chance, but it was close to one, and that was very early in the game. And I'm like, man, he keeps doing that, and then for this game, he's not going to move up, but. He started to you saw, like, he's a terrific passer. He's a great passer, and you saw that on display. He got the goal, which was a fantastic redirect. I think that was a Josh Manson pass, and he just got his stick in front of the defender and redirected it. He was your number one star of the game. So you're happy. You just feel good for guys like that who get a demotion and immediately turn it around.
Yeah, and like when you watched him in the beginning of the game, you could see him like gripping the stick just a little bit more. Like you could see that it's now a game between his ears that he's playing, and he's trying to find his stride. And that turnover, I know that exact moment because I saw it. I was like, oh, this is really going to send this just south. But the more he kept building, and of course we'll talk about the nuke thing in a minute, the more he kept building, and then to end up with the game-winning goal, and then the number one star. And I don't know, did you watch his number one star interview with Rachel Toss?
I did, yeah.
When that crowd at Ball Arena started celebrating and cheering, and like he got choked up for a second and said, I can't even hear. Like, I felt that. I was like, that's the breakthrough right there that he needed. That little push, that the number one star, you could see it in his face, like that sigh of relief that, hey, I can do this. Now I'm going to be watching him again with the same intense look that I did in this game, how he could build on this. Is this the turnaround for Mittelstadt? Because he looked good towards the end. He was in the right place. He started building together. That third, he was a lot better. So this is the kind of stuff you really like to see.
And like you mentioned in the interview on the ice, it's just good for his own, well-being that he got that game-winning goal. He's, got that behind him, that he finally got a goal in the net for the first time in a century. But hearing that the crowd applause, like, okay, they got my back.
Yeah,
they haven't all turned on me. So, and I think that goes a long way too. Go ahead.
I would like to throw out an honorable mention as a standout in this game. As somebody I'm really starting to fall in love with, Keaton Middleton.
Yeah, we had someone mention him in subtext. It might have been Lisa. I could be wrong on that. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But, I I'm okay with him.
I am too.
Yeah.
I like what he brings, and like he's getting comfortable. And this is, I think, his 13th game with the team. Like
Man, is it
he's
that many? Wow.
yeah, and he's like what he's bringing. He's got that size and that style,
Does, yeah.
and he's starting to like develop that that McDermott slap shot a little bit. Like he's starting to look good, and I want to see how this builds as well. As I'm watching Mittelstadt, I'm also going to be watching Keaton Middleton
Yeah.
for what he could possibly do for the rest of the year, because he in this game, every time he was on the ice, you could notice him. I'm like, wow, he's really showing up. And this has been the last couple times he's touched the ice.
The thing that I like about him is he knows he's just up at this level for he doesn't know how long.
Yeah.
And when you get guys that are in that position, they press a little bit too hard. I don't feel like he's doing that. I feel like he's just taking every shift he gets, and he knows what he has to go out there and do, and he doesn't try to overextend himself or do too much to hurt his team. He puts himself in good position. If he's got an opportunity for a shot, he'll take it. He doesn't force any shots on net. He just he does things the right way. Like I have nothing bad to say about how he plays. He's not a defensive liability. He's not getting beat on defense. Yeah, he's a big body. He's not afraid to throw his weight around at all. So they did put John Ludwig down in with the Eagles for the old conditioning stint. So you're expecting him back within maybe like a week or so. And then that might spell the end for Middleton, but I think he's been impressive in that he's a guy that, hey, if you got injuries, you can bring him up and feel like you're not really missing a beat.
And I saw Ivan is also on the IR. So that explains a little bit of his absence as well. And it's retroactive as well. Yeah,
I think they said he was week to week.
Yeah.
So, we'll get to another injury in a minute here, but we talk about Cale Makar all the time. Cale Makar is settled into this season.
Yep.
And he finds that other gear, and it's just like Michael Jordan mode. It's just you're not gonna stop him. You can only hope to contain him, and just slow him down. But he's just, we always say, like, he's on another level. And then there's moments where you see it, and it's like consecutive games where you're seeing it. And it's not just like one possession or one move that he makes. He's doing this stuff all throughout the entirety of a game. And all that does, like, I don't think he had anything in terms of point. No, he did have an assist. So he had an assist. But the way that he plays, it's like, another Nathan MacKinnon, where it just opens up so much for everybody else on the team. And it's just so fun watching him when it's just, the hot knife through butter type of analogy, because it's effortless to him. And yeah, we're at the end of December, and Cale Makar has settled into a hockey season, and it's only this is what you're going to get for the rest of the year, because he's dialed in. He's so dialed in. It's so awesome to watch.
You're about to turn, like, today. Happy New Year, everybody. Cale Makar has 45 points. 45 points. 40, like, it's gaudy numbers. He's tied for 12th in the NHL. Like, it's just, you shouldn't be doing this. But you have Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen also going crazy. Like, this, we're now getting accustomed to it. And Cale's still finding ways to amaze us night in, night out. And it's a wonderful thing to behold.
Yeah, he had the assist on that Taves whiff goal,
the dribbler,
which he totally meant to do.
Yep.
But yeah, that was. And then another defensive guy to bring up is Josh Manson. Thought Josh Manson had a exceptional game. Thought he played excellent, and this game was great. But this is Josh Manson. So next game, you don't know what it's going to be. You want this Josh Manson as much as you can get it, but you never know. So, but hey, if you're going to show up and play this way against teams like this, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good. I thought he played a great game. Very engaged.
I did too. Whatever's going on with his hand, it's made him a creature.
He's bionic, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a welcome. Like, I like this jolt. Just don't burn out. We need this also for the playoffs. So it's good that it's there. Keep it in the toolbox. Bring it to the playoffs.
Let's get our last break in. When we come back, there's good, and of course, when the Avs get anything good, there's something bad that eventually happens, and it happened in this game. But maybe, I mean, we don't want to jump to too many conclusions, but we'll explain. Poor Val. Right after this. All right, let's hear from Gametime. If you love going to events, whether it's sports, music, theater, or comedy, how can you not go with Gametime? They've made it easier to get tickets for your favorite events with their new feature, Gametime Picks. This feature filters out all of the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Make sure you're downloading Gametime today, because what time is it, Kyle?
It's game time.
All right. So Jonathan Drouin came back. 2 thumbs up for that.
Whoa.
Yeah. What happened? Did you do that?
I have no idea how that happened.
I had a different tab up, and I thought something happened when I clicked back. You're having a party over there, apparently.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. So where is Mr. Drouin here?
He had 2 points.
18 minutes. So you're not holding back. I mean, if he's up on the second line, you're not going to ease him in. And yeah, you had 2 assists on the day. So that's good. That's what you want. Welcome back. And on the other side of that, Valeri Nichushkin went down. Well, didn't go down. I shouldn't say that, because it wasn't anything that was visual where he took a big hit or anything like that and then was laboring to get back to the bench. They did show something on altitude after the game where they think they found the play where he had I think it was a lower body injury. Yeah, a lower body injury. And it was just on a pass to him, and he went to kind of one time it and kind of turned towards kind of opened up his entire body, and he whiffed on it. So when you do that, when you're expecting to either hit a baseball or kick a soccer ball or something, and you whiff and your body doesn't adjust for the miss because you were expecting to make contact. And it seemed like he pulled something. I don't know if it's a groin or something, like a muscle in his calf or his thigh or something. It looked like that, but he didn't come back for the game. And how many times has this happened, Kyle, where we finally get a player back, and then either that game or the next game, somebody goes down. We don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully it's not very long and he just tweaks something, but we'll see. I haven't, watched anything from Bednar if he got an update already. But you just hope it's not long-term. Come on.
Yeah. And once again, the Avalanche are paying the troll toll to keep their players. You get one, have to send one, but with how this team's playing top to bottom, the depth, call-ups, Nuke, take your time. The team's doing okay. Just get yourself right.
I know, but he's part of the reason.
I know, but it's also, you don't want to rush him back. The Avs are sitting in a good spot. We're 2 points back. Minnesota, yeah. You're sitting 9th best in the league right now at time of recording. The Avs are in a good position. We were talking about this with Drouin and Mittelstadt. The team's in a good spot where you don't everything's not hinging on one player, because you're getting hat tricks from Lehkonen and Kiviranta. Everybody's producing. Take care of yourself, because I really want to see if you can make it through a playoff. So let's get there, and then we'll talk.
We'll see what happens. I want to get to some subtext people and their comments. Then we have our sound check to get to as well. So over on subtext, Kay says, huge win. What a way to finish 2024. Team is really gelling. It was a tighter game than I was hoping, but Winnipeg is for real, so not unexpected. Their backup was amazing.
Oh, no, you froze. And I do agree. That goalie, incredible goalie play, good positioning. It was one of those, but it did not derail the Avalanche and what they were doing. So, thumbs up there, and you're back.
Okay. Yeah. So she just went on to say, she said Casey responded exactly as we had hoped. I just hope whatever happened to Val wasn't serious. Sound check for Kay is Getting in Tune by The Who.
Good pick.
Good pull there, Kay.
Really good.
Lisa, I'm going to be honest. I've been watching Penn State. She's a Pennsylvania girl. So, when I did turn the game on, the Jets scored immediately, so I turned it right back off. Thank you, Lisa. This is all. This win is all thanks to Lisa. I did see Casey Mittelstadt score, so maybe fans can let up a little bit. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't think they're built that way.
It'll be all right.
Cody says, I love being right as I called the 5-2 Avs win. So I'll take my flowers, and seeing Drouin, Mittelstadt, and Colton get some points was really nice to see, especially from Drouin, because I didn't expect anything from him in his first game back. Yeah, you always feel like, first game back, you got to ease into it. But like I said, if you're getting thrown on that second line, you're expected to do something. Yeah, and a good game.
Yeah, congratulations on the correct pick.
Yeah. Adam said he only saw the third period. I don't know. Maybe he was watching Penn State too. I don't know.
We are, baby.
But I'm thrilled to see Mitz get the game-winning goal. Great way to end 2024. So, yeah. So that's a couple people from subtext. And once again, just feeling good about where the Avs are playing. How we feel about this game. Let's get to our sound check and wrap things up. Kyle and I always pick one song each that summarizes the most recent game. Put these songs up over on a playlist on Spotify, which you can follow along. Just search for LOA Soundcheck volume number 4. What do you got for this one?
2024. It's been great. It's been fun. You ended. You're done. So my last sound check for 2024, we're going to have to go with some ska.
Okay.
The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Okay. The now retired Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Yeah, go ahead.
The impression that I get.
Oh, come on. It's
you never had to knock on wood with this team. Like, when you're watching this team, especially like from the beginning of the year and in that weird in between section where it was just scratching and clawing just to win a game. You dropped games to like Columbus earlier this year. And then you just beat the Winnipeg Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get a different feeling about this team. Like, confidence is back. We could put away the rabbit's foots, the wood knocking impression that I get. This team is a different team going into this year.
Absolutely.
So let's give it some ska and some trumpets and the song that sounds like the America's Funniest Home Videos theme song.
You want to know something I found out about that song? Like this past year, and that song's been out for 30 years, right? I heard it thousands of times. It was listening to it on Lithium on Sirius XM, and the DJ pointed this out. The way that those lyrics go, it's like when you hear the chorus and you just feel like, oh, like I never had to knock on wood. But during those verses, he's asking a bunch of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Have you ever done this? Right. And then in the chorus, he's kind of answering those questions, saying like, I've never had to do those things. Knock on wood. And I'm like, oh my God, that just completely changed the dynamic of that song for me. Never, ever thought about it that way. I just thought it was like, I've never had to knock on wood. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. But no, he's never had to do all those questions he's asking. He's never had to do those. So he knocks on wood that he has never had to do it. What a mind blow that was for me, man. Every time I listen to it now, it's just different feel.
They were one of my go-tos when I was a skater kid, and I had most of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones albums and would read the CD booklet. When I read it, I was like, oh. So I've
Oh, yeah.
I've told it to my kids that way, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
I mean, like Never Had to Party, like Dr. D, or just like
Yeah.
legendary songs to me, man. So I'm going with, so it was Winter Classic Day. And I put a post up because I'm wearing the Avs, and it's not a Winter Classic, but it's outdoor jersey. And there's a reason why I'm wearing this if you follow us on socials. And because the Pumpkins played at the Winter Classic game, I figured, why not? Let's go with a Pumpkins song. And this is off of one of their best, Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness album. And there's a song called Muzzle. And that's what I went with. I felt like the Avalanche put a muzzle, at least for a day, on the Winnipeg Jets. Good game, back and forth game, was really anybody's game until the third. But in that third, Avs clamped down on defense and really muzzled, if you want to say, the opportunities that the Jets could have. Would they have 5 shots on goal in the third? Yep, five shots on goal, and only 7 in the second. So 22 shots on goal overall for the Jets. That's why I'm going with that one there for the Pumpkins. Yep.
They played at the Winter Classic. I think they played harder than Chicago did.
You could have put the 5 members of the Pumpkins out there, and they would have been a better starting 5.
Chicago on a 5-game losing streak, contrary to our 5-game winning streak.
I mean, not that we were the only ones saying it, but we saw that game coming a mile away for that Winter Classic, and I really hope the NHL learned something, but somehow I don't feel like they did.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that for a period like I did, and I turned it off.
Oh my God! So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for today. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Hopefully you've stayed safe and got home safely. So we'll be back tomorrow, likely. We think we're probably going to be doing an episode, but yeah, there's nothing really. We're not New Year's guys. It's not like Christmas that's going to take away from Locked On Avalanche. Why would we do that? No. It's just another day. When you get to be this age, it's just another day. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, making your first listen. Always appreciate it. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, you just made it there. Whoa, what is going on here?
I don't understand.
Oh man, Sidney Crosby, get over here so you can enjoy this fun stuff over on this show.